Have you ever had someone invade your thoughts, no matter how much you try to forget them? It doesn't matter if it was a past relationship, a close friend, or even someone you barely knew. Their face, their voice, their presence, it's like they are permanently etched into your mind. You try to move on, but something pulls you back, over and over again. Psychologists call it obsessive rumination, but Carl Jung had a different perspective. He believed that when someone lingers in your thoughts, it's not just about them, it's about you. It's about something hidden within your unconscious mind, something unresolved, something deeply connected to your own identity. Jung spent his life studying the mysteries of the unconscious, and he discovered that we don't just think about people randomly. There's a reason, an unconscious force that keeps certain people in our minds. And more often than not, the reason isn't love, or even hate, it's projection. But what does that mean? And how does it explain why you can't stop thinking about someone, even when you know you should? To understand this, we need to dive into the depths of Jungian psychology, the shadow self, the anima and animus, and the hidden forces shaping our thoughts. By the end of this, you'll realize that the person you can't stop thinking about might just be a reflection of your own unresolved self. Let's begin. The psychological dilemma, it's not about them, it's about you. When someone occupies your mind, it's easy to assume that it's because they are special. Maybe you believe they are your soulmate. Maybe you think they hurt you so deeply that you can't move on. Or maybe you feel they hold some unfinished role in your life. But Carl Jung argued that when a person lingers in our thoughts, it's rarely about them, it's about us. The unconscious mind and projection. Jung introduced the concept of projection, which explains why we fixate on certain people. He believed that our unconscious mind stores all the parts of ourselves that we don't fully recognize or accept, our fears, desires, weaknesses, and unresolved emotions. When we meet someone who triggers these hidden aspects, our mind projects those qualities onto them. For example, if you can't stop thinking about someone who rejected you, is it really about them? Or is it about the fear of abandonment you've carried since childhood? If you obsess over a person who wronged you, is it because they're truly that powerful over your life? Or is it because they mirror a deeper wound, a past betrayal, an unresolved pain you haven't confronted? Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This means the person you can't stop thinking about is revealing something hidden about you. They are a mirror, reflecting back something you need to confront. The role of the shadow self. Jung's most famous concept, the shadow self, explains why certain people become deeply embedded in our psyche. The shadow is the part of you that holds your suppressed thoughts, emotions, and traits you refuse to acknowledge. When you meet someone who embodies your hidden qualities, whether good or bad, you become fixated on them. If you're drawn to someone who is confident and outspoken, it might be because you secretly desire those traits but suppress them in yourself. If you can't stop thinking about someone who hurt you, it might be because they remind you of past wounds that your subconscious is forcing you to face. The person living in your mind is not just a memory, they are a symbol of something deeper within you. The emotional loop, why we can't let go. So why does this fixation feel so strong? Why does it seem impossible to stop thinking about this person? Jung believed that when an unconscious wound is triggered, the mind creates an emotional loop, a cycle of thoughts, emotions, and memories that keep repeating. Your mind is trying to resolve something, but because you haven't confronted the real issue, the loop never ends. If you were abandoned as a child, every rejection in adulthood will reignite that same pain. If you were raised in an environment where love was conditional, you might obsess over people who withhold affection because your mind is desperately trying to earn validation. If you have a deep fear of failure, you might obsess over successful people, not because you admire them, but because they remind you of what you think you lack. Your unconscious is begging you to recognize the real issue, but instead, we fixate on the person. So how do we break free? How do we stop letting someone live in our head rent-free? The answer lies in Jungian integration, the process of confronting, accepting, and reclaiming your shadow. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. The Jungian explanation, understanding the shadow and anima/animus. So far, we've explored why someone might be on your mind constantly. It's not just about them, but about you. Your unconscious is projecting, trying to resolve something deeper. But to truly understand why, we need to look at two of Carl Jung's most powerful theories. The shadow self, the hidden, repressed parts of you. The anima/animus, the unconscious feminine side in men, and the unconscious masculine side in women. Together, these shape why we fixate on certain people and how they hold a mirror to parts of ourselves we don't fully understand. The shadow, the person you can't stop thinking about, is a reflection of you. Jung described the shadow as the hidden aspects of our personality, the emotions, fears, and desires we suppress because society, culture, or personal experiences have taught us they are unacceptable. But here's where it gets interesting. We don't get rid of these suppressed parts. Instead, we project them onto others. For example, if you're drawn to someone who is bold and fearless, it might be because you suppress your own desire for confidence. If you're fixated on someone who is manipulative and cruel, it could be because a part of you fears your own capacity for manipulation, or maybe you've been manipulated before and never truly processed it. The more we ignore our shadow, the more it controls us from the unconscious. That's why Jung believed the people who stick in our minds are actually teaching us something about ourselves. But the shadow isn't the only reason someone might haunt your thoughts. There's another, even deeper force at play, one that shapes the very nature of our romantic and emotional attachments. The anima and animus, the unconscious forces behind romantic obsession. Jung believed that within every man exists a subconscious feminine energy, the anima, and within every woman exists a subconscious masculine energy, the animus. These archetypes shape how we form connections, romantic attractions, and emotional fixations. When someone captures our mind, it's often because they awaken a part of our anima or animus. The anima, men's unconscious feminine side. For men, the anima represents the emotional, intuitive, and nurturing aspects of themselves. The idealized feminine energy they seek in relationships. If a man keeps thinking about a woman, it's often because she embodies a piece of his subconscious that he hasn't integrated yet. If she's soft and caring, she may represent the nurturing energy he longs for in himself. If she's distant and unavailable, she may represent his own suppressed emotions, which he hasn't learned access directly. Many men fall into emotional fixations because they see a woman as the key to their own emotional fulfillment, when in reality, what they seek is already within them. The animus, women's unconscious masculine side. For women, the animus represents the logical, assertive, and dominant aspects of themselves. The idealized masculine traits they seek in a partner. When a woman can't stop thinking about a man, it's often because he represents something she needs to integrate into her own life. If he's confident and powerful, she may be drawn to him because she needs to embrace her own strength and assertiveness. If he's emotionally distant, she may be fixated on him because she is struggling to set boundaries or claim independence. This is why some people develop toxic obsessions with those who are emotionally unavailable, because their unconscious is demanding that they stop looking for external validation and find fulfillment within themselves. Breaking free. The power of integration. So, how do you break free from the cycle of thinking about someone constantly? Jung believed the key was integration, embracing the hidden parts of yourself instead of projecting them onto others. If you're drawn to someone's strength, ask yourself, how can I develop that strength within myself? If you're obsessed with someone's approval, ask, why do I need external validation? What part of me needs healing? If you feel haunted by a past relationship, ask, what unresolved emotion am I running from? When we integrate our shadow, anima, and animus, we stop seeking missing pieces of ourselves in other people. And when that happens, when we truly understand why someone has been on our mind, it's no longer about them. It's about reclaiming ourselves. How to reclaim your mind and stop obsessing over someone using Jungian techniques. Now that we understand the deep psychological forces at play, the shadow, anima, and animus, it's time to answer the real question. How do you stop thinking about someone who won't leave your mind? Jung didn't just analyze the human psyche. He also developed techniques to help people reclaim their thoughts, integrate their unconscious, and break free from unhealthy fixations. In this section, we'll go over powerful Jungian techniques you can use to take back control of your thoughts and stop obsessing over someone for good. 1. Shadow work, facing the parts of you that are projecting. We've already established that when someone is stuck in your mind, it's usually because they reflect a suppressed part of yourself. Shadow work is the process of bringing those hidden parts into the light so they no longer control you. How to do it? Journaling exercise. Write down everything about this person that haunts you. What emotions do they stir in you? What qualities do they have that feel magnetic or painful? Ask yourself deep questions. What does this person have that I feel I lack? What lesson is my unconscious trying to teach me through them? Am I projecting an unresolved wound onto them? Recognize the mirror. Once you see what part of yourself you're projecting onto them, work on developing that quality within yourself instead of chasing it in someone else. This is one of the hardest but most powerful steps. Once you fully accept what this person represents, your mind will naturally release them. 2. Active imagination. Have a conversation with your obsession. Carl Jung developed a technique called active imagination, where you engage in a dialogue with your unconscious mind. How to do it? Find a quiet space. Close your eyes and bring this person into your mind. Imagine them sitting in front of you. Start a conversation. Ask them, why are you stuck in my head? What do you represent in my life? What do I need to learn from you before I can let you go? Let them respond. It might sound strange, but if you allow your unconscious to speak, you'll often hear unexpected truths. Thank them and say goodbye. This symbolic act can be deeply cathartic. Many people report that after doing this exercise, the emotional weight tied to that person dramatically lessens. 3. The anima/animus integration, becoming whole within yourself. If your thoughts are consumed by someone, it's possible they awaken your anima, for men, or animus, for women, the unconscious side of your personality that seeks completion through others. Jung believed that the healthiest relationships come from two individuated people, not two people seeking completion in each other. How to integrate the anima/animus. Identify what this person represents. Are you drawn to their confidence, their mystery, their nurturing nature? Develop that trait in yourself. If they represent strength, cultivate your own strength. If they represent emotional depth, explore your own emotions. Practice self-sufficiency. The more whole you become on your own, the less you'll seek the completion in others. Many people stay stuck in obsessive thought loops because they believe someone else is the missing piece in their life. Once you realize you are already whole, those thoughts lose their grip. 4. Archetypal transmutation, transforming the energy of the obsession. If your mind keeps cycling back to this person, it means there's unresolved psychic energy tied to them. Instead of trying to suppress it, Jungian psychology teaches us to redirect it into something meaningful. How to do it? Creative expression. Write, paint, or create something based on the emotions they bring up. Channel that energy into art or storytelling. Physical movement. Jung believed that movement could help unstick thoughts. Dance, exercise, or engage in martial arts to move stagnant energy. Symbolic rituals. Write a letter to them, without sending it, and burn it as a way to release your attachment. By transmuting the energy, you take control over it instead of letting it control you. 5. Individuation, the ultimate goal of Jungian psychology. Jung's ultimate goal for every person was individuation, becoming your most authentic, self-actualized version. When you fixate on someone, it's often a sign that you have work to do on yourself. Instead of focusing on them, ask, what areas of my life am I neglecting? What passions, dreams, or goals have I put on hold because of this fixation? How can I grow into the person I was meant to be? The more you focus on your own self-development, the less power this person will have over your mind. When someone is always on your mind, it's not just about them, it's about you. Your unconscious is trying to show you something. It's up to you to listen, integrate, and grow from it. By practicing these Jungian techniques, you'll not only break free from obsessive thoughts, but also unlock a deeper understanding of yourself. And that is true power. The power of understanding your own mind. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This journey into Jungian psychology isn't just about understanding why someone is always on your mind. It's about something much bigger, learning to reclaim your mind, your emotions, and ultimately your life. What this really means. When a person lingers in your thoughts, it's not just an accident. It's a message from your unconscious mind, signaling an area of yourself that needs attention. We've explored how this fixation can be rooted in shadow projections, the parts of yourself you refuse to acknowledge. The anima/animus, your unconscious counterpart seeking completion. Unresolved wounds, past experiences that still control you. Unintegrated emotions, feelings that have not been processed or understood. Most people never do this work. They remain prisoners to their unconscious, repeating the same thought cycles, obsessing over the same people, and wondering why they feel stuck. But now you know the truth. The Jungian path to freedom. The techniques we discussed, shadow work, active imagination, anima/animus integration, archetypal transmutation, and individuation, are not just tools to forget about someone. They are the path to becoming a stronger, more self-aware, and more complete version of yourself. This isn't about forcing yourself to move on. It's about transforming your entire relationship with your mind. Because when you finally integrate these lost parts of yourself, something incredible happens. You stop chasing external validation. You stop obsessing over people who don't deserve your energy. You become whole within yourself. And once you reach that level of self-awareness, the people who once haunted your mind lose their power over you. What is your unconscious trying to tell you? So now I leave you with this. Who is the person you can't stop thinking about? And more importantly, what part of yourself are they reflecting back at you? Once you answer that, you'll be one step closer to reclaiming your mind and your life. If you've made it this far, it means something in this video spoke to you. Maybe you finally understand why someone is stuck in your mind, or maybe you realize there's more beneath the surface than you ever thought. But here's the real question. What will you do with this knowledge? Don't let this be just another video you watch and forget. Take action. Subscribe right now, because we're diving even deeper into the mysteries of mind, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit the like button if this resonated with you. It tells me you want more content like this. Drop a comment. Who's the person you can't stop thinking about? Let's decode it together. Your mind is more powerful than you know. Learn to master it, and you'll master your life. See you in the next one.